വിശേഷങ്ങൾ?
മുക്കാൽ ഭാഗം താഴെ ഇറങ്ങി കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പം there were army officers climbing up to rescue us. Because they got information that a group was stuck on top and they were coming to rescue us, but then we had already like come down like ഒരു midway ne cutting koodudila. So the most difficult terrain nammal nadanathu was there was this one place the river started overflowing ആ സമയത്ത് എത്തിയപ്പം താഴെ എത്തിയപ്പോഴേക്കും you could actually see the river flowing and നമ്മൾ വന്ന സീൻസേ അല്ലായിരുന്നു like we walked through the same path but we saw like a completely different place when we were going down because there was landslides in certain places, the terrain had changed, it was slushy and slippery and all of us slipped. So നമുക്ക് അറിയില്ല എവിടെ താഴെ ഫ്ലഡ്സിന്റെ സാധനം തുടങ്ങിയെന്നൊന്നും നമുക്ക് അറിയില്ല. പോകുന്ന വഴിയിൽ നമുക്ക് കാണാം that we were going by a road where സൈഡിൽ it's river ജയിലും. So we thought that the river was flowing ഭയങ്കര ഒരു in a treacherous manner. But നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിൽ ഫ്ലഡ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സാധനം കുറച്ച് നാളെടുക്കുന്നൊക്കെ വിചാരിച്ചിരിക്കുക. So because none of us have faced something like this before. We all got back to this homestay. അപ്പോൾ പോകുന്ന വഴി as I said it was വെള്ളം അവിടെ ഇവിടെയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു and certain places were submerged. There's no water in the homestay. They were saying ശ്രീനഗറിൽ മൊത്തം വെള്ളം ഇല്ല. It's like so our dreams of having water in the bathroom was like strike out. But the river Jhelum ഇവിടെ ആണെങ്കിൽ the entire Srinagar is ingane. So anytime it can like wash out the entire city. There was this one guy with us, Pratik ennu parnittu. This guy comes in his room, he's like do you want to hear the bad news? Within a few hours this entire place is going to be submerged in water. And he said a lot of other things like flights might be postponed. Kore parnu. Everyone ignored the first part of what he said except me. And I'm like Pratik, can you repeat what you just said in the beginning? Yeah, so the entire place is going to be submerged in water. And he has a smile on his face and I'm like is this a joke? And he's like no, I'm very serious here, this is going to be submerged in water, so let's just enjoy the last few hours that we have. And I'm like no, I'm not dying in Kashmir, I'm going back home and then I don't care what happens to me. So he's like no, I don't think we'll die or anything, but yeah, it's going to be floods in Kashmir after 1953. So anna ratri 11 maniyapam she just comes barging in. She's like, pack whatever you really need, we need to get out of here. So we're just moving you to a higher place. So she said that ee samayathu kooduthalum prashnam varunathu is when like locals might attack tourists. Just for that I'm moving you to another place which is like 5 minutes from there. Got to a hotel called Comrade Inn ennu parnittu, which is 5 floors. So we didn't have a room there, so we went up and there was a വലിയൊരു banquet hall പോലത്തെ സ്ഥലം. We got our mattresses and all that and we stayed there. So the next day morning again we were just like we need to pack, go to the airport and get out of this place as soon as possible. 5 minutes later when I went down, then it was like all hell just broke loose. The entire place was submerged in water. There were rumors that dams broke. So we were just like, okay, what's happening? Is this a dam breaking or is this the river Jhelum overflowing? So we had no idea because communication was absolutely zero. I think within 2 hours it just became so much the water levels that nammada Mumbai stores akka adipoy completely. The homestay that we stayed in was underwater. Food onnu stock cheyidu vechittundarunilla, there was no water. So I think that was crazy because namku before the tank got over we filled 2 bottles from the bathroom and our area was hit really badly because it was one of the most low lying areas in the city. There was a hostel nearby. Avada you could hear a lot of kids screaming and it was bangera disturbing and the one issue was that because we were in a higher place nobody was willing to come help us. So there were around 200 people in the hotel who were stuck and in that most of them were women and children. So kids didn't have water and food, so that was really bad. We had pal pudi packets and we used to eat that every day and water as I said was just like 1 sip a day. So after a point we just like okay, there's no way we can survive for more than like 6-7 days like this, especially without water. It was like okay, I mean and that whole feeling where you don't know whether you're ever going to see your family or your friends again, I think that was the worst for all of us because every day you're just like, okay, now we're going to get saved, you know, we're going to go back. But you know, nothing. There was absolutely no rescue systems and rescue missions happening, and we were just like, okay, fine, you know, okay, rescue cheyanda, at least food and water and medicine would drop cheyda madi. But then there was nothing. So we was like, okay, so slowly we started losing hope. Airlifting was a lot of fun, and it was scary as well, because so അവർ നമുക്കൊരു എന്തൊരു സാധനം തരും, റോപ്പൊക്കെ ഉള്ളത്. I don't know how beneficial that was, because we have to put it on our own, and they put a rope and there's a small bar sort of a thing in the end where you hold on to that. So so you don't have time to think for all this, because it just happens between like, you know, ഒരു second 2 second ഉള്ള everything just happens. So the helicopter was at a distance because, you know, it couldn't land on our place because the terrain wasn't so appam angane they throw the rope and you have to like be pulled up. So my hands are always sweaty, so I'm just like weird for once, I don't want to fall back. So angane, you know, when you're getting airlifted, you could see the entire Srinagar and how it was completely underwater. So igane pongikondirikkumba pinne taalthekku po. So it's like you're not sure whether this is just happening to you or, you know, does this happen to everyone. I'm just like prarthikkarthu, like, you know, I really don't want to go back, you know, die like this, you know, get, you know, like airlifted and then fall down or something. But we were all safe. So the women got saved first and we were brought to the defense airport. And when you get into the helicopter, it was like really sad, because you see like couples separated and, you know, like families separated and people crying, and, you know, I think that was probably like the most and the upsetting part in the whole thing, because it was really sad seeing so many people like literally like break down and, you know, right in front of you, and you're so helpless because you can't do anything about it. Adu kazhinjittu, like, you know, we got to the defense airport, and from there everything happened really fast.